So, lads, today we're going to be talking a little bit about what the Indiana Fever lose with losing Chloe Bibby. I want to apologize again about the voice. It is 4:44 in the morning. Hey, 4:44. It is 4:44 in the morning. I am incredibly drunk right now, and while I sober up, I'm going to record a couple of videos. So I'm going to go into detail on what the Indiana Fever lose with Chloe Bibby. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you guys. Oh, holy shit. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God. We're 58,100 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. But there is nobody, and I mean this, there is nobody that you will ever see go into complete detail on how much Sophie Cunningham's impact, or not Sophie Cunningham, Jesus, Chloe Bibby her lack of impact could negatively affect the Indiana Fever while hammered drunk. No one else is going to do that, because people have better things to do with their lives in the situation I'm in right now. But Chloe Bibby, what is she? She's a stretch four. Chloe Bibby is absolutely a stretch four. She's a good one because why? She hits the three at a plus 40% rate. How many power forwards in WNBA shoot the three as well as Chloe Bibby? I'm going to be honest, that number is maybe zero. Maybe zero. It is rare to find a 3-point shooter that is as competent as Chloe Bibby, like as a power forward. So I'm just going to look at WNBA 3-point percentage leaders. I'm going to look up that this year. So if you're looking on the year, the 3-point, why is there no 3-point percentage leaders? There we go. It has to be. So yearly 2025. So Sony Citron obviously led it in 2025. She led it at 44%. Like, I'm just thinking of players that are like comparative 3-point shooters to Chloe Bibby, and is like at the 4. You're looking at like Emily Engstler. You're looking at basically Emily Engstler, and on the like Emily Engstler is a bit more size, a bit more defense. Emily Engstler is a better player than Chloe Bibby. I'll give you that. The Indiana Fever are dumbasses for drafting her 4th and then cutting her. Like, they draft her 4th and cut her. Genuinely, they drafted her 4th in 2022 and then cut her after a rookie year. But Chloe Bibby is giving you that. On the defensive end, I think I'm not going to say she's a plus defender. I think she's a negative defender. But like, I don't think she's as much negative as people think. I think she's like everyone talks about that game where Paige ISO'd her and where all trust was lost from Steph White in her. I think everyone talks about that game. But if you want to look, there were 5 possessions Paige Bueckers ISO'd Chloe Bibby. Paige made 1 shot, missed 3, and got a phantom foul on 1. Like, she pulled up, missed a shot, and then flailed and got the free throws. So if you assume the referees are doing their job, she goes 1 of 5. This is a player who shoots above 50% in ISOs. Paige Bueckers is the best isolation scorer in the WNBA percentage-wise. You have the best isolation scorer, ISOing Chloe Bibby, shooting 20% if it wasn't for the BS call. And Steph White didn't trust it. Why? Because the Dallas Wings decided they wanted to attack Chloe Bibby. And this is the one thing I hate with coaches, where it's like, a lot of coaches are like, they're so being like, oh, look, there's a mismatch here, we have to take this player out. And I'm like, man, she didn't do a bad job. Like, anyone who wants to talk about Chloe Bibby's defense, I mean this when I say this, you are not going to find footage of Chloe Bibby in the WNBA as this negative defender. I'm not saying she's a positive defender. I'm saying she's a passable defender. And I think the Indiana Fever lose quite a lot without Chloe Bibby, especially on the offensive end. Defensively, yes, like a Bree Turn is better than her. But like, Natasha Howard is better than her on defense. But like, I put her in I'm trying to think what category I put her in on defense. She's not as good as Sophie. She's not as good as Lexi. Like, I understand she's kind of big, but like, I put her in a similar category to like Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark on defense. I don't think she's all defense. God, no. I don't think she's good. I don't think she's bad. I think she's like a 5 out of 10 defender. And if you lose a 5 out of 10 defender with 9 out of 10 spacing ability, it's a problem. And it's one of those things that was annoying that we didn't see a lot of. We didn't see a lot of Chloe Bibby with Caitlin Clark, because I think she would have been left wide open, and like, she would have been the best perfect shooter for Caitlin. So if you guys looked at a lot of 2024 clips. We look at what Katie Lou Samuelson shot. And I think on the defensive end, I think there is a comparison. Like, they are a comparative. Like, they're very, very close on the defensive end. Katie Lou was a bad defender, but she tried. Chloe Bibby is a slightly better defender, but I think there's a bit less effort. Not even less effort, being like just ability to just throw your body around like Katie Lou. Katie Lou, like, man, Katie Lou tried. But if you look at Katie Lou, the last time she played with the Fever, she shot 35% of the field and 33% from three. That was pretty bad. All on wide open, by the way. All wide open shots. Like, Katie Lou Samuelson did not have to create a shot ever for the Fever. So you're looking at that, and then you're looking at Chloe Bibby here. Last season, she only played 14 games, 9 for the Fever. She shot 40% from three. You're looking at a 7% increase, and they are a comparative level defender. And it's one of these things where, like, people are like, oh yeah, the Fever are going to let Sophie Cunningham go. I mean this when I say this, or Chloe Bibby go. That is the wrong page. There we go. But if the Fever were offered there are much worse players the Fever are going to sign in free agency that'll cost more than Chloe Bibby. I think it was obvious she was going to be taken. I think by leaving her unprotected, by protecting Sophie, leaving her unprotected. I think they left KK Timpson unprotected because I think they would have taken Sophie if she was unprotected. That being said, I understand why Chloe Bibby and Christy Wallace are better picks. By the way, like, I cannot stress this enough. Christy Wallace was not a starter by any means. Christy Wallace literally had multiple 40% 3-point seasons. And like, Christy Wallace is a plus defender. She's not a good defender. Like, Steph or Christy Sides talking about Christy Wallace like she was some dog defender. No, she's not that. She's good. Christy Wallace is a bang average player. Like, if you're asking me who's better, Christy Wallace or Rachel Banham, give me Christy Wallace. If you're asking me who's better, Christy Wallace or I'm just trying to get off the top of my head. Like, I wouldn't mind Christy Wallace being back in the Fever. I really wouldn't. Like, Christy Wallace gives you 40% and like 4 or 5 out of 10 defense. She's a better defender than Caitlin Clark. Not by much, but a bit better. She tries on that end, and she can give you about 40% from three. But it's really, really tough to find a stretch big. Like, I don't think Chloe Bibby is the ideal starter level big, but like, I thought she was a really good bench player. I know Steph White lost trust in her, but I thought she was really good. I thought she was really, really good last year. And I don't think Steph White's that bothered by losing her. But as a fan, I understand why you'd be a bit pissed off about losing her, because like, she's really hard to replace, man. Like, if you want to look for like the most, I'm trying to think of like a like for like comparison to Chloe Bibby, and you're looking at like a Beck Allen or something. Like, Beck Allen's going to cost you way more than Chloe Bibby. Like, Chloe Bibby's going to play for near the minimum, whereas Beck Allen's going to play for at least 500k. I'm looking through this and I'm like, shit. Like, it's going to be hard for the Fever to replace Bibby. The problem is, I don't think the Fever want to replace her. As long as the Fever did one of two things. Like, I don't mind. A lot of people are like, oh, they need spacing. I'm like, I actually don't think the spacing is the end of the world. But I think Caitlin Clark herself and her gravity brings a lot of spacing involved. I think they just need players to be relentless. Like, I would fucking love if the Fever had have drafted Sanaya Rivers last year instead of trading that pick. And everyone says, oh, they traded the pick for Sophie. No, they didn't. They traded Alyssa Smith for Sophie. They traded that pick, and I made a video about it at the time. Like, man, they traded that pick so they could get cap space. If they didn't trade that first round pick based on salary, they wouldn't have been able to afford the Wanna-Bonner. They traded that pick for cap space to get the Wanna-Bonner. It was as simple as that. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.